and welcome to Circuit ICAR and the Evirum 100. It is round number 8 of the 2025 NASCAR Canada Series. I'm Dave Bradley, joined by Gary Clute. Todd Lewis will be joining us momentarily. But 7 races in the books. There are 5 races left to come. But the way the schedule has worked out and the way Mother Nature has played with the NASCAR Canada Series this year, it is going to be a jam-packed finish to the schedule this year. There will be 5 events in a little more than a month, and it's a mix of road courses and ovals, including a pretty unique road course that is our place to play here today at Circuit ICAR in Mirabel, Quebec.
Yeah, super interesting little track here. 12 corners, interesting surface, very flat track, not much elevation, really high intensity track to drive, and not a lot of great passing zones. So we might see a little bit of contact here, making things a little bit more interesting for us.
Another thing, too, we'll be watching over the course of the day is the curbing here. A lot of drivers saying that if you attack the curbs, you risk ruining your race pretty quickly, don't you?
Yeah, very interesting. NASCAR has come out with track limits here. There's been a couple spots over the years where if you get really aggressive, you can make up a little bit of time, add a little bit of risk to jumping those big aggressive curbs, but NASCAR's put their foot down, and so it's pretty cut and dry.
And talking about being aggressive, that's sort of been the underlying story of the 2025 season. And it has been a season where it looks like 1 point could potentially make the difference in the championship.
Yeah, we are in for a treat here as far as the last couple of races go. We've got a great championship here. We've got Marc-Antoine Camirand out front with 279 points. D.J. Kennington 3 points back. And then Ranger put himself back in the game. He's got 272 points with that win at GP3R. So we've got a very exciting couple races ahead of us. We've got ICAR, CTMP, and then back to the ovals, whereas ICAR and CTMP might favor Marc-Antoine Camirand and Andrew Ranger, but then we go to 2 races back-to-back at Delaware at DJ Kennington's home track. We're in for a treat here as far as the championship goes.
100%. It is going to be a fun end to the 2025 season. It's been a fun season so far, and earlier today, 19 drivers took to the track to take part in E3 Sparkplug's pole qualifying, and it was the 27 of Andrew Ranger with momentum on his side, and he took the E3 Sparkplug's pole award, and earlier Todd caught up with the driver of the 27.
Coming off his victory at GP3R, Andrew Ranger shows plenty of speed, scoring a pole lap here at Circuit ICAR. New track record, too. Where did this come from?
Unbelievable. No, I'm very happy, seriously. The 27 car was so fast. In practice, I think we have something, but really in qualified, that lap was very, very quick, full of traction, and I really like that track here. So we'll see for the race.
Yeah, now it's focus on the race, and there's going to be a lot of hard chargers behind you.
Yeah, you know, the top 10 here can win easily. So my goal here is to be focused and try to do my best. Have fun. You know, sometimes I try to push a little bit too hard, make a lot of pressure, but today I'm here to have fun and enjoy it and try to gain the most points for the championship. It's very, very tight. So, no, I think we probably have a good car, and I will try my best this year.
Andrew Ranger, he's got pole. He's got 5 wins. He's going for 6 today.
And when we return to Circuit ICAR, we will continue the countdown to green with a look at 2 drivers who have dominated racing here on this circuit in Mirabel, Quebec, just outside of Montreal. And welcome back to Circuit ICAR, and the countdown to the start of the Evirum 100 continues. Over the course of history, though, 2 drivers have dominated racing here at Circuit ICAR. Of the 11 events that have been contested here at this track, 2 drivers have combined to win 9 of them. Top of the heap, 27 of Andrew Ranger. He's won 5 times.
Andrew's just been so impressive here. Since 2007, coming into the series, he brought a whole new level of road course racing quality to the series and really has just dominated here on so many occasions. He gets so much out of his car every time he comes to a track like this, and with the win last year here, and then his win at GP3R most recently, it's catapulted him back into the championship hunt. He's one of the favorites certainly to win here, so this could add a little bit more spice to the championship standings.
Yeah, it's good to see the driver, the 27, with a big grin on his face again. And this is, again, a look back to GP3R and that beautiful livery for the 27 on the streets of Trois-Rivières, Quebec, as Andrew Ranger held off the fellow GM Paillet-sponsored entry of Marc-Antoine Camirand to go on and win there. So we talked about how good he is here at Circuit ICAR, but we have to talk about the other driver who comes up in that conversation, and that's the 74 of Kevin Lacroix. While Ranger has won 5 times, Lacroix has won 4.
Yeah, Lacroix has also been very impressive here, and when he came into the series 2014-2015, he brought a whole new level of intensity to these road courses, and especially here at ICAR. Guys would typically save the car a little bit, but from the drop of the green flag, he would just go hammer down and burn it to the ground, and 4 times it's worked for him. He's got 1 win this season at Saskatoon, and he's had a few races with some bad luck. He was not able to start Calabogie, and that really hurt his championship, his hunt for the championship, sitting in 5th in points right now.
Yeah, and it'll be a long climb to the top today. As a matter of fact, the 74 has been sent to the rear for unapproved changes. So, once again, you will see that driver with elbows out. That's going to be an exciting car to watch over the course of the event. Another driver who we're going to be watching for the first time in 2025 is behind the wheel of the number 3, and that's Justin Arsenault. Maybe some home track advantage should play here today.
Yeah, he was certainly quick in practice, certainly quick in qualifying. He's going to be very impressive here. He was impressive previous years out at GP3R, and he's going to have a lot of fans here. It's going to be a home race for him, his home facility, and he's going to have a fire in his belly to really try and put it on the podium today.
And being a driver instructor here at Circuit ICAR, he knows this place like the back of his hand. So you talk about a tough place to find a passing zone. He knows where all of them are hiding for sure. And he's just the latest driver to get behind the wheel of the number 3 car. Of course, that coming out of the EHR stable. And Jason Hathaway is a driver who had a couple starts over the course of this season. He's since backed away, and he's letting a lot of these younger drivers compete in that car, and it has been a juggle. And earlier, Todd caught up with Jason to discuss how that juggle is playing out in 2025.
He started off the season in the driver's seat. Jason Hathaway ran the first 4 races for the NASCAR Canada Series in the 3 car. You've rotated a number of different drivers through with some pretty good success so far this season.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, we didn't truthfully plan on running the whole season, and I started out there doing the first 4, and we ended up doing a couple rental programs with different guys, Connor Bell and Calabogie and a few others, and Justin Arsenault and Raphael Lazard and Alex Fortain, and I don't know if I forgot one or not, but myself, I got in the seat there in the 3 cars, so it's been a lot of fun. It's good to see these young guys get in there too and have a chance, and we're giving them good cars and running up front.
What are some of the challenges of running a number of different drivers through? Is there a process that you run each through?
Remembering all their names. No, truthfully, they've all been great. They're all they're all young, very talented, hungry. They like I said to Connor Bell and Calabogie, you might never get a chance to do this again in your life, so give me everything you got. So, and he did. Obviously, we won. So, but it's a lot of fun, and the guys enjoy it too. And and we got good cars, and we're running up front, so it makes everybody's happy at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Each driver, though, of course, has a little bit of a different feel, looks for something different. I guess that's part of the business part of it that you have to get used to.
It is, and I try to work with the drivers as much as I can and relay back to the team, and we make adjustments based on that. And I think I wouldn't say I'm the crew chief or not, but maybe senior manager, I guess, my CEO of entertainment. I think that's my role. But I can relate to the driver and what he says, and relate back to the crew because I've been around these racetracks, and I can talk to him a little differently than a crew chief would. So But I enjoyed it. I like this role I'm in, and we're having fun, and we'll see how many years we do it like this.
Well, we'll see. Will you get back in the car again at some point?
I'm not sure. We got a couple ovals coming up, and that seems to be my specialty. So I had a second there in Saskatoon and kind of got out of the car, haven't been back in it. So maybe Delaware might get back in, or Montmagny, one of those two. So we had a good car there last year too. I was running up for second, third. So we'll see, hopefully.
Jason Hathaway giving opportunities to young drivers, but maybe not quite ready 100% to get out of the seat yet.
And super humble is Jason Hathaway. Of course, he is a former champion in the NASCAR Canada Series. When we return, the countdown to the green flag to the Evirum 100 continues. And welcome back to Circuit ICAR and the Evirum 100. We are just moments away from the command to fire engines in the lead up to the green flag for today's event. But earlier, Todd Lewis went patrolling the Paddock area and found some pretty interesting stories, especially when it pertains to driver news when it comes to the rest of this season. Todd?
As we get down to the stretch drive of the season, there is a lot of interest in the NASCAR Canada Series, some first-time drivers, and some drivers who are coming back for another little taste. We told you during our Grand Prix de Trois-Rivières show that Jack Polito had submitted an entry to race at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. That's our next event a week from now. Talked with Jack this past week. He has done a test with his BC Racing Cars team. They had a very good test, they felt, at CTMP. Said the car feels good. They're very happy with the setup. They think they can be competitive. They're very anxious to get back out on track. Also set to race at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, Connor Bell will return to the 3-car of EHR. Of course, made his debut at Calabogie Motorsport Park in spectacular fashion, scoring a victory in his first outing with EHR. He will be back with the same partners supporting him. He will run at CTMP and then told me that will be his last race of this season, but he and his team are already hard at work trying to put together a program to run all the road courses in 2026. One other car that we will see at CTMP is the 48 car. Ron Tomlinson ran that to a 12th place finish at Calabogie Motorsport Park. Unfortunately, Ron is not available to race at CTMP, so Trevor Hill will make his debut in the NASCAR Canada Series. Trevor and his brother Travis Hill, of course, behind Tooth Autosport, having an awful lot of success in a lot of different series, be it sports cars, be it Radical Cup Canada. They will compete again at CTMP, backing that 48 car. Trevor and Travis also have some good veteran help with that team as well. Al Liebert and Jeff Steenbakers will be supporting that crew as they did at Calabogie Motorsport Park. A little bit later on in the season, Matt Shirley, who ran with us out west in Edmonton and at Saskatoon, was also scheduled to run a third race. He was supposed to run at Sunset Speedway, but that got squashed, so he has reorganized his program. He will have his supporters backing him for the season finale at the Autodrome Montmagny. Matt said he's never been there, hasn't experienced the track before, but he's excited and looking forward to being part of that. And one other note for today's race, the 28 of Ryan Vargas, he's running 7th in the championship, but unfortunately they are not here this weekend. They had to make some hard budgetary decisions. They have stepped away this weekend. Ryan says they hope to be back and focusing on the Ontario race. Expect to see him in the car at Delaware Speedway. Guys, a lot of activity and a lot of action as we get down to the stretch run.
Thanks very much, Todd. And it is a little bit disappointing to not see Vargas in the lineup. One of the drivers has been consistently improving over the 2025 season, but we'll see him back at Delaware. Yeah, certainly disappointing. I really wanted to see how his whole season would shake out, but it's probably the right call. With a little bit of limited funding, he's going to come back and he'll be strong at Delaware. And, of course, a lot of excitement with new faces coming to the series. Looking forward to seeing them. When we return, we will fire the engines for the starts of the Evirum 100 here at Circuit ICAR. And welcome back to Circuit ICAR and the lead up to the Evirum 100. And you can see the fans have already taken their spots around this 12-turn circuit. And there really has been a lot of fans gravitating to this location over the last several years. It's just really been a buildup of excitement when NASCAR comes to town, hasn't it?
Certainly, very close to the city center of Montreal, and you get the best of both worlds with this racetrack. You get the road course racing where you can only typically sit in a corner and see, maybe a short shoot and then a corner, and then they go back behind the trees and you can't see them again. Whereas here, you can almost see the entire lap from the grandstands.
And there's a good driver's eye view of the animation of today's track, and you can see it is lined with guardrails in a lot of spots, but then you do have that massive runoff. This used to be a working airport not too long ago. But let's talk a little bit about qualifying. We talked about how Andrew Ranger took the E3 Sparkplugs Pole Award, but behind him was the story, because Marc-Antoine Camirand was fast in practice, not necessarily up to pace in qualifying.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, qualifying doesn't always tell you the whole story, but yeah, in practice, Marc-Antoine Camirand was quickest with Justin Arsenault, P2, but Ranger laid down an absolute flyer in qualifying, clearing the entire field by almost half of a second. One little kernel of interesting note is he may have blown corner one by not hitting the brakes before the start-finish line, so that might be the explanation for that gap.
Just keep your foot in it as long as you can. Before we get to today's command to start the engines, let's send it down trackside once again and check in with our Todd Lewis. Todd?
I'm just going to pick up on what Gary said. There were a number of drivers that blew across the start-finish line trying to improve their time in qualifying. It was a technique that was employed by several drivers. Obviously, Ranger was the most successful, but it'll be interesting to see how they all navigate corner number one, having to slow down side by side on the start of this race and navigating their way sometimes 2 wide, sometimes 3 wide. Corner one can be awfully exciting.
That is almost a guarantee. It's a land rush start often when you see the green flag wave. We fan out, like Todd says, you go 3, 4 wide sometimes into a very tight turn number one.
Yeah, this corner one, this start, these starts, these restarts are arguably the most exciting of the season. You can go 4 wide, 5 wide, right into a hairpin. There's always fireworks at some point during the race.
You can see the pit crews are pretty nonchalant. Their work is pretty much done at this point. This is a sprint race. It's just 43 laps. The lap time's a little bit more than a minute in qualifying, and so there will not be a planned pit stop. If a driver has to come down, it's completely unplanned, likely because of contact.
Yeah, absolutely. Track position is so important in such a short race that you're not going to come down pit lane for tires. It certainly is a sprint race, and as I mentioned before, yep, go ahead.
And we'll head down trackside as we have Melissa Trahan, the head of Evirum Business Development, standing by with today's command. Them up here on the pit lane at Circuit ICAR as the Evirum 100 inches closer to a green flag. But Gary, you were talking a little bit about track position here and how so important it is. So yeah, you won't be coming down pit lane even if you think you might need tires.
No, certainly, and I was about to get to how much this is a sprint race, yes, but there are different paces. You saw Lacroix really burn it down a little bit last year and then fade, and he didn't have anything for Ranger at the end, who saved his stuff maybe just a few percentage points more.
And it is those little percentage points between these top drivers in this field. You heard Andrew Ranger in his interview after taking the E3 Sparkplugs Pole Award. He said pretty much anybody within the top 10 can win this race. You have to look back to 11th place as well in that Castrol Dodge in the 17 of D.J. Kennington. Always a threat to win, no matter where we go. and when we take a green flag. So we're leading up to the green flag here at Circuit ICAR, the Evirum 100. The drivers are strapped in and ready to go. The engines are fired. We'll take a quick break before we send them to green. And welcome back to Circuit ICAR. The field is now rolling as we lead up to the green flag. Pace laps underway. And you can see the drivers working to get some heat in their general tires and just getting a general feel for the car. And there you see one of them dropping to the rear. That is the 74 of Kevin Lacroix. And that's one of the main stories we'll be following over the course of the day because he's got his work to do, coming right from 19th position today.
Yeah, selfishly, I'm very much looking forward to the show that he's going to put on coming through the field. I doubt he'll be able to do it if this race goes green. He's going to need a couple of cautions and some good restarts.
And historically, we have seen cautions. Yeah, there's a lot of runoff area and places for cars to park if they do in fact break down. But historically, there has been caution periods in this race. So hopefully, some that the 74 can take advantage of. And for the rest of the field, they're hoping that this goes as clean and green as possible so they don't have to see that 74 in their rear view mirror. But there's a lot of drivers up towards the front. You look at Alex Tagliani, who had a great qualifying run, sitting in 4th spot. Alex LeBay is inside the top 10 as well. And here is that chicane that you're not allowed cutting. Track limits will be enforced through this area.
Yeah, you can see a few pylons there, so that should dissuade anyone from really cutting the course unless they get extremely aggressive. And you can see in this shot here just how steep that curb is.
Yeah, so 4 wheels on the green paint area will mean a drive-through penalty for these drivers here today. And the NASCAR officials, you saw them lined up on the inside of the track. They will be watching that and dishing out those penalties over the course of the day. The drivers have been told in the drivers' meeting that this is something that they will be watching. Do not do it, because cones really don't dissuade these drivers over the course of the race. But you can see the drivers continuing to cycle through here on pace laps as we'll take a look at your starting lineup here very shortly. As the 27 of Andrew Ranger starts on pole, you can see all the way back to row number 5. That's where we have Matthew Kingsbury. And 17 is D.J. Kennington in row number 6. So starting just outside the top 10 in 11th spot, Dave Corsol in the 54. J.P. Bergeron has had up and down runs over the course of the season in the 37 of Simon Dion-Vienne. As you see the 1 to go before we go green. Larry Jackson in the 84. Serge Bordeaux make up row number 8. Then the 93 is Jacques Gannett Sr. and Dominic Scrivo in the 69. And a new start, Marc-Andre Lachapelle in the 73. That is entry number 2 out of the Donald Teague Racing Shop. Donald, of course, ran a GP3R. He has a new driver making his first start here today. And Lachapelle, a veteran of the late model ranks, running ACT all around Quebec and in parts of New York as well, including the oval track here at Circuit ICAR. And so the field continues to work around, and they will file up towards the back end of the racetrack. So this is one of the better passing opportunities. You can float a lot of speed through here, but then you come into that tight chicane, and it is single file through there. You have to get back in line. But take a look at your track map. This area is over by 7 and 8, so it's 4, 5, 6 that we're looking at right now. But again, where's the best passing spots?
Yeah, you're going to be looking out of corner 12, getting a good run into corner 1. You can get a pass done there. You can get a pass done into corner 3. But you've got to really focus on coming out of corner 2 well. That leads onto the longest straightaway, and that's going to translate into the most speed.
It is a concrete playground here today in the former tarmac of Mirabel Airport. And now it is home to Circuit ICAR, a place that opened in 2008, hosted NASCAR for the first time in 2011. 11 different occasions the NASCAR Canada Series has competed at this track, and it is Teddy Bien-Ami from Evirum Legal Operation with the green flag, and we are underway in the Evirum 100. Pretty tidy start as you see Arsenault get into the 96, Marc-Antoine Camirand. Camirand's going to steal that spot because he has a preferred line into turn number 2.
Yep, pretty single file. You're going to see Gannett and Tagliani battling here into the braking zone.
Already the 74 has made some moves. He's up about 4 spots again. The 74 Kevin Lacroix dropped to the rear for unapproved changes, searching for something a little bit more after qualifying only in 7th spot. Ranger, though, continues out in front in the GM Paille back to number 27, ahead of fellow GM Paille back to number 96, Marc-Antoine Camirand.
Wow, you can really see how crooked the cars get there. They're not cheating that corner at all.
And just floating around. This is a different surface, and it's something we didn't really talk about in the lead up to green. The concrete surface takes a little while to rubber in. You don't have the traction that you would at a place like Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, do you?
Yeah, the rubber really gets washed off here, and you'll get more and more grip as the race progresses. But you won't see these cars. You'll see them continue to slide around for the entirety of this race.
But, I mean, the bonus is it doesn't really chew up tires. It's fairly smooth, isn't it?
Certainly. Very, very different than Calabogie.
Absolutely. As we saw tire degradation, the big story of that one. And once again, Andrew Ranger will come through the camera shot as your leader. And there you see the gap at the front. And at the start-finish line, if you look at it, it was just about a second. So is Camirand holding back, or is Ranger just that good? As you see some of the drivers starting to cheat that curbing in 7 and 8.
Yeah, I think Ranger really is that good. He had that blistering qualifying lap, and he certainly wanted to lay down a good one on the opening lap. And as you see there, Tagliani, he's up to 3rd spot.
Tagliani just getting underneath Arsenault in the 3. Again, a brand new driver behind the wheel of the 3 for Team EHR. Jason Hathaway, the team captain, we'll call him. He says, I'm not really sure what my title is, but I just help these drivers get acclimated with these cars and help them go fast. And sure enough, they are going fast. As Arsenault, of course, a driving instructor here. We talked about that storyline, but sliding back a little bit to Alex Tagliani. And Tagliani, again, another driver, lives close by. He's in Montreal. And this is a facility, and it's a track that is open to these drivers for testing. So a lot of these drivers are very familiar with this place.
Yeah, certainly a lot of these drivers. Lacroix is also just around the corner. He's got a whole ton of laps here. Camirand's done a lot of testing here. And going back to Tagliani here, he's not running the whole season. All he wants here is a win.
Yeah, chasing checkers, the driver of the St. Hubert UBS store, number 80, and you can see him right there. And also chasing ownership points for Donald Teej. And that's kind of we talk about the Drivers' Championship and the Points Championship that the drivers will be chasing, but it is a feather in the cap for somebody like Donald Teej. He's competing on the ovals, Alex Tagliani in the road courses. The end of the year championship is a championship.
Certainly, and they've got a real shot at it. Obviously, Tagliani can win any road course, and Donald Teej can win any oval.
Yeah, so it's cool to see those two drivers come together with Don Thompson Jr. helping out as crew chief here in 2025. You can see already some body damage to the nose of the Duro King number 9 of Matthew Kingsbury. The hood starting to flap a little bit. He's just ahead of Alex LeBay. And again, it's really 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and even you want to count in Alex Gannett there in 5th, the BetGRW number 39. He's not far away from that one as well, as they just continue to run single file again in the early going of this 43-lap sprint race.
You see there through the chicane, we're already down 1 cone. Someone's taken that away, and I imagine the rest will go.
Yeah, cones don't last too long on NASCAR Canada Series cars. The only way to strictly enforce track limits is do what they do at GP3R and just put a wall there.
yeah, no one's going to argue with that.
Exactly. As you can see, the lead is shrinking just a little bit. The 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand across the line last time by was 0.7 of a second behind your race leader, and the 80 of Alex Tagliani just set the fastest lap of anybody else on track. So keep an eye on that Saint-Hubert, the red, yellow, and white Chevrolet of Tagliani. He is starting to pick it up, and he's one of those drivers who gets a little bit more comfortable as the run moves on. And again, you're not running full time. He's running a bunch of different kinds of cars this year, but these cars are very different than anything else.
Certainly, he ran a radical car at GP3R, something that he would be, more familiar with compared to his IndyCar days.
Yeah, a lot of downforce, lightweight, high-powered cars are those radicals. And very fun to watch, and it was cool to see Tagliani jump straight up onto the podium in those types of vehicles. But the lead is gone at the front. It's half a second now between Andrew Ranger and Marc-Antoine Camirand, as Alex Gannett is losing that front group just a little bit. Justin Arsenault still hanging on in 4th spot.
Yeah, talking about Gannett here, he's another guy who has a whole ton of laps here. And again, since him joining the season years and years ago, he's always shown well here.
Yeah, it's another track that's just around the corner from where he lives in Montreal. So a lot of family, a lot of friends, sponsors in the crowd here today. So it's one of those opportunities to put on a good show for all of those important people in your lives. Just looking through the running order, and we can tell you that Kevin Lacroix started 19th spot. Yeah, he's up to 10th. There he is there. And the Adaptive 1 calipers with an Napa Racing number 74. So whatever unapproved changes they made, the penalty of going to the rear was definitely worth it for Kevin Lacroix.
Yeah, we'll see. He should make quick work of DJ Kennington here, and then LP Dumoulin is next.
Yeah, he's about 0.3 of a second quicker than DJ Kennington, and about 0.4 of a second quicker than Dumoulin. So gives you an idea. The driver, the 4-time winner of this event in the NASCAR Canada Series, is now around the 17 of DJ Kennington. So yeah, it didn't take long to make that pass.
Yeah, and look at this gap. It's almost completely gone. Camirand is now in the hunt for the lead.
And what's interesting is, yes, they do share similar sponsors, and you can see similar paint schemes and everything. Marc-Antoine Camirand with a red roof compared to the black roof of the 27 of Andrew Ranger. But those aren't the same teams. The 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand is the Paillet Racing team. The 27 of Andrew Ranger is sponsored by GM Paillet, but they have an internal battle between themselves of who can be the best Paillet race car on any given weekend. And it's so much fun to watch for the fans because we get to benefit from that increased competition level.
Certainly, and you can see that the cars are set up a little bit different. You see the nose of the 27 way up in the air in comparison to the 96. He's really squatted down there.
You can see a little bit further back, Alex LeBay has now caught the number 9 there. You saw just coming into your shot, Matthew Kingsbury coming under some pressure. Look at Arsenault floated. So there's green paint, yes, but that is not a track limit penalty area. It's only this one here. 4 wheels off into the green paint and you get a penalty. But in that straightaway area off of turn number 5, fair game. If you want to go run it up to the wall, you can.
Yeah, there's a lot of exit here if you need it. If you miss your mark a little bit, it's not really going to cost you a whole ton because you can just drive it out wider.
Keeping an eye on the 74 of Kevin Lacroix. He has made it around the 47 of LP Dumoulin. Dumoulin coming off a podium at his home race at the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivières, sitting in 9th spot. Lacroix up to 8th. His next car in his target will be the 36 of Alex LeBay. though we should mention that Lacroix is about 8.5 seconds out of top spot. So that's the pace being laid down by the 27 of Andrew Ranger at this point.
Yeah, it'll be a tough group of 4 or 5 cars here for him to catch.
Funny, we talked about the 39 of Alex Gannett starting to lose that lead group, and just like that, he starts to wheel them in a little bit here as we come through to complete lap number 10 the next time across the stripe. So it's a little bit of drivers sort of relaxing a little bit, potentially saving their brakes. And again, tires not much of an issue here at this track, but at the front, this is starting to be a race for the lead.
Yeah, the 96 doesn't look like he's saving much. They're hanging it out a little bit, and he's going to want the lead, and he sticks the nose in now, and 27 closes the door, and he's still there. He's got a nose. He's going to let it go this time.
The little bit of contact. You can see a slight break to the back bumper cover of the 27 of Andrew Ranger, but that was really minuscule contact between the 27 of Andrew Ranger and the 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand, as Camirand once again took a dive out. There's a good look at Simon Charbonneau and the one of JP Bergeron. Battle for 11th and 12th on the racetrack. That is your battle for the lead, and that is a more significant bump to your race leader out of turn number 5 from the 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand.
Yeah, you can really see the attitude difference here between the 27 and the 96. The 96, that car just looks like it's turning a whole lot better than the 27. Yeah, I expect he's going to make that pass here shortly.
Into lap traffic too, and now the 96 once again takes a peek to the inside. That is La Chapelle in the 73. Jacques Gannett Sr. just ahead. There's the 93 of Jacques Gannett Sr. as the leaders work through lap traffic, and it's helping out Andrew Ranger at this point because Ranger takes that passing lane into turn number 1, almost plays a blocking role, but that's the line he needed to take to get through lap traffic.
Yeah, it really looks like Ranger's struggling a little bit here. He's giving it all he can here to keep the 96 at bay, and the 96 car just looks so good.
Tagliani is still well within striking distance. So is Justin Arsenault in the 3, and there is problems for the 73 of Marc-Andre Lachapelle. He goes for a loop, no caution yet, so it is only a local caution. You'll see a waved blue flag, and that's an indication in NASCAR rules that there is an issue on the track. And Lachapelle manages to refire and get going, so we stay green. At the front, though, once again, the 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand sails it. On the outside, you can see the back end just sliding as he continues to push, trying to get a nose underneath the 27 where he needs it most. He's tried here in turn number 1 before. He's not going to do it this time, so a little push to try and loosen up that 27 on quarter exit into turn number 2.
There's some tricky passing zones here because even if you get down the inside, you can fight back around the outside, and 9 times out of 10, the next corner is going to favor the guy who's on the outside.
So the bump and run is something that we've seen on oval track races frequently, but this is, it almost plays out like a short track oval, doesn't it? Because of the lack of real genuine passing areas, is you almost have to use that bump in interesting ways to loosen up the car, maybe just loosen up the driver's concentration as well to try and make that pass.
Yeah, we'll see. The 27 is a tough guy to rattle, and here goes the 96 down the inside. And all season long, they haven't really laid a fender on each other. They've played pretty fairly. Yeah, pretty smart racing between those two.
Yeah, just nose to tail bumping for the lead. And now the new leader is your points leader, and that is the 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand. Again, came into this one just 3 points up on DJ Kennington. And where is Kennington? We can tell you he's still in 10th spot as you take a look at your Leland ticker across the top of your screen. There's Kennington chasing Matthew Kingsbury and LP Dumoulin in 8th spot as well. But there is your race leader, the GM Paille number 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand.
And he's already laid a big gap here on the 27 car. That 96 car is looking really sporty.
39 of Alex Gannett has managed to catch the 18 of Alex Tagliani, and the 3 car of Justin Arsenault has managed to get back around Tagliani. So the 3 car of Justin Arsenault up inside the top 3 once again, but we continue under this long green flag run to start things off, and we'll head pit side to check in with Todd Lewis. Todd, what do you got for us?
Tell you that 96 car really wanted to get around that 27 car. They didn't want to dump him, though, of course. They wanted to maintain some integrity and understanding that they're still on probation until the end of the year. But we're feeling the heat from behind. From the 18 car, now they're feeling more heat from behind from the 3 of Justin Arsenault. Alex Gannett is not far back. This guy is living up to everything we expected at the start of this race.
Absolutely, and you can see just how close it is at the front, and it just starts to bunch. So Tagliani starting to fall back from the 3 of Justin Arsenault, and that falls him into the clutches of the BetGRW number 39 of Gannett. So the leaders, once again, looking at lap traffic just in front. Simon Zion-Vienne in the 37 will be the next one up in the Duclos Chrysler number 37. That's the orange and yellow entries. Off a couple flashes of him through the screen. Dominic Scrivo just ahead of the 37. But yeah, we've got a battle for second spot now.
Yeah, certainly. It looks like Ranger is really having to wheel that car, taking it to an inch of its life in every corner here, and that's going to hurt the tires. They're going to get hot.
So we know how quick he was in qualifying. Even he was surprised that it was a new track record time. He said the car feels good, but differences between qualifying setup and race setup, is there a huge one?
There certainly is. You could set up the car for qualifying. The good on these tires is so good for that single lap.
And we do have a caution. Jacques Gannett goes around in the Moto Illimité number 93. And so caution comes out here on lap 16 as Gannett unable to refire, and that is in a pretty vulnerable position in turn number 1. So the NASCAR officials deciding to err on the side of caution and throw the yellow flag for the first time here in the Evirum 100 with the number 96, Marc-Antoine Camirand, your early race leader. We'll take a quick break and be back with more. And welcome back to the 8th race of the 2025 NASCAR Canada Series, the Evirum 100 here at Circuit ICAR, and more problems now. That is Larry Jackson in the Superior Propane Rack.ca number 84, and it looks like fire under the hood, and he's a good person to get out and battle that fire himself. A fire captain in Peel region.
Frustrating deal for Jackson there. That's a tough go.
It is, and a driver who's not running the full season, but still up in the point standings in that Superior Propane number 84. This is originally what brought out the caution, and it's Jacques Gannett Sr., and that's a pretty typical loop, as it looks like the back end just maybe a wheel hop.
Yeah, it could have been a wheel hop there. It looks like he really just locked up those rear tires and it just got away from him pretty quickly.
So the vehicle stopped on track for the cleanup of the Larry Jackson number 84, and there you can see the char marks on the front of the Superior Propane number 84. So the cleanup taking a little bit of time here at Circuit ICAR. So while the officials do their work, we'll take a quick break, and so you don't miss anything here on Rev TV. You're watching NASCAR Canada Series. We're just 16 laps into a 43-lap Evirum 100 here at Circuit ICAR, and you can see the fire team working on the Superior Propane number 84 of Larry Jackson. That's the reason we are under a red flag. So the car stopped on track, and while we have this little bit of quiet, we can check in once again pit side as we send it down to Todd Lewis. Todd?
Well, we'll give you a little bit of an update on Larry Jackson. First and foremost, he is okay. He got out of the car. He was telling the team, Howie Scannell Jr., is like, it's getting a little smoky in here. I can't see. It's best that I get out of the car. So he did. Weren't sure if there was some sort of an oil fire or an oil leak or rupture, but got a little stinky, got a little smelly inside the car. He had a problem similar to that in Calabogie at a couple of weeks ago, where an oil line came off and spilled and actually did a little bit of damage to his leg, but he was fine again. But out of the car, didn't want to take any chances. Best to just get out before it gets too hot.
Thanks very much, Todd. And you can see Howie Scannell working to clean up that pit area for the 84. So unfortunately for them, their day is done early. Larry Jackson in the 84 has had 7 different runs here. His best in 2017 was a 7th place finish. So we'll take another quick break as we continue under a red flag here in the Evirum 100. And welcome back to the NASCAR Canada Series and the Evirum 100, and still under that red flag. We had a spin in turn number 1, innocent enough, as Jacques Annette Sr. locked up the back tires and went around. That drew a caution, but then an issue for the Superior Propane number 84 of Larry Jackson. It appears as though something caught fire underneath the hood. Again, Larry Jackson is out. He's okay. The car is a little bit worse for wear. They managed to get it put out fairly quickly, and they're just going to get that car loaded up on the flatbed and bring it back to the Paddock area. But once again, when you're in an extended caution period, but more importantly, when you're in a red flag, it's not super sunny today. It's not super hot. It's warm enough, but how does this affect your concentration as a driver? You're just sitting there out on the racetrack. You might be watching the go-karts over the wall and thinking about other things.
I don't know if your mind really wanders that much. Your mind usually kind of just goes blank, and a lot of times you're really just thinking about the heat. You know, you might loosen off your belts, try and straighten your back a little bit because you are slouched there in the seat, and pull off your gloves because it's a good way to cool off, let your hands breathe a little bit. Yeah,
because when you don't have the car on, you lose all the driver comforts. You don't have the fans at your disposal. You don't have the cool suit running cool water through your undershirt as well. So have a look at this. Now we saw this, the battle for the race lead. That wasn't the change of position, but that's how close it got as the 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand hunted down your race leader. Andrew Ranger started on pole and then eventually did get him, but it was a pretty clean pass.
Yeah, it really exemplified just how good that 96 is, just how much better that car turns than the 97 right now.
But this caution period and the ensuing red flag is definitely the break that the 74 wanted to see. Kevin Lacroix battled up inside the top 10 after starting dead last. He's now sitting 8th, so when we go back to green, that'll be a driver we'll be watching. So once again, the 84 of Larry Jackson gets cleaned up. We'll take another quick break. You're watching the Evirum 100 at Circuit ICAR. And welcome back. The red flag has been pulled in, now under caution, so the field starts moving once again behind the pace car. I'm Dave Bradley, joined in the booth by Gary Klutz, and Todd Lewis is pitside for us here today at Circuit ICAR and the Evirum 100. Marc-Antoine Camirand, your race leader, followed by the 27 of Andrew Ranger and the 3 car of Justin Arsenault. And again, that's a driver that we'll be keeping an eye on, the driver from Laval, Quebec, who has not made any starts in 2025. He has made starts in the past in the NASCAR Canada Series, but very, very quick in that EHR number 3. Let's head down pit side once again and check in with our Todd Lewis. Todd?
Give you a little bit more of an update on that 3 car. Just checked in with Jason Hathaway, the team principal at EHR, and he said, we're good. We're hanging with him. Justin Arsenault is hanging with those front runners. Doesn't want to push the car too hard, too quickly, but he does have the speed in that car, and they feel pretty confident that he will be there for the end of the race. Also checked in with the 74 team and Kevin Lacroix. Dave, you touched on just before we went to break that, yes, the yellow came out at a very fortuitous time for them. They've had a good climb through the field, a little bit of a chance to reset, bunch the field back up, and another opportunity to gain some positions when we go back to green flag racing.
And again, we talked about that 74 car, how important it is for him to get a good finish here today. He can't afford any more mulligans here in 2025. He's already had a couple of them.
No, he's really in a must-win situation here, and then potentially another must-win situation at CTMP. So he's going to be hard charging here on the restart.
And the thing is, sure, he went from 19th to where he's at right now, which is in 7th spot where he'll restart, but the next few positions are going to be a lot tougher. Now you start working through the Guinettes, the Taglianis, the Labays, and eventually, potentially get up to the Marc-Antoine Camirand. So it's not going to be an easy swap of positions.
No, and he's going to need a really good restart. He's going to need to make quick work of Labay here and Guinette if he wants to have a shot at the 96.
And he will have the inside lane, which is generally the preferred lane going into turn number 1 here at Circuit ICAR. A very difficult, almost 180-degree turn at the end of the front straightaway here at the track. So that's where it will be decided on this restart. And there's still a lot of racing left to go. Still 26 laps to be completed in this 43-lap sprint race. And we keep saying it's a sprint race. That's because there is, unlike CTMP, unlike GP3R, there's no scheduled pit stops. The drivers do not have to come down pit lane. And really, you can just lay it all out there. You don't have to worry about fuel load. Burn it all off.
Yeah, certainly. You're going to be way good on fuel. Looking back there a little bit, you see LP Dumoulin. He's another guy who's in a must-win situation, sitting 4th in points there.
We can tell you the driver that got the free pass during that caution is the 37 of Simon Zion Vienne. And so 16, 17 cars are on the lead lap as he'll catch on to the tail end of that lead line. So it's Camirand on the inside, the 27 of Andrew Ranger up on the outside, the 3 of Arsenault, the 18 of Tagliani, and row number 2, the Pinty's restart zone gets activated as we get the green flag once again.
Yeah, fairly orderly start there, no contact. Wow.
Surprisingly so, actually. I thought it would be a little bit more aggressive. And now you can see the 36 of Alex Labay moving on Alex Guinette as Guinette tries to sail it wide and carry the momentum. And he will actually fight off that challenge by the 36, but the 74 of Kevin Lacroix didn't make up any spots.
No, he actually got passed by the 9 of Kingsbury there.
So despite having that preferred groove on the inside, 74 drops a position as the 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand, the 27 of Andrew Ranger. So far, the class of the field as they stretch an early gap on the 3 of Justin Arsenault. The 80 of Alex Tagliani right there too as they bang off the curbs. And again, have to be so careful not to catch a suspension arm or the inside of the tire, cut down a tire so easily here at Circuit ICAR. There you can see the entire field coming through as a great shot from well overhead. You can see just how much the cars slide through the turns here on the concrete surface of the old Mirabel Airport. Looks like that caution did wonders for the 27 of Andrew Ranger. Settled that car down. He was dropping back quite quickly, and now Ranger has found some new speed after those General tires managed to cool down a little bit.
Yeah. Again, he probably got those tires a little bit warm, so he's going to be good on this short run, obviously, with that blistering qualifying lap, but we'll see how that car fails as this run progresses.
Camirand just went quicker than anybody else this entire race. Not only his personal best, but the race best. 104.8 2:42. So that is nearing qualifying speeds here in race trim as he tries to hold off the other GM-IA entry, the other Chevrolet of Andrew Ranger. There's the 3 of Justin Arsenault, the 80 of Alex Tagliani, a quartet of Quebec drivers. And even if you want to add in Alex Gannett, Alex Lebay, and Kevin Lacroix, drivers all who call Quebec home. So racing in front of a hometown crowd here at Circuit ICAR.
Yeah, you've got a good little battle here now between the 36 and the 39 of Lebay and Gannett, and that's going to help the 74 of Lacroix close in the gap here.
Points battle-wise, DJ Kennington in the 17, sitting in 9th position. So he's having a typical DJ Kennington day here at Circuit ICAR. He will never be super aggressive on these road and street circuits, but he will consistently run exactly where he is, in the top 10, and then start pushing at the end and see where it ends up. And that's what DJ Kennington does so well, and that's why he has championships to his name. That's why he sits second in the championship here in 2025.
Yeah, he's going to take everything he can get from this race. He's not going to try and squeeze out anymore. He struggled here a little bit a few years in the past, but again, always a guy who's there at the end.
Battle's picking up at the front, though. 22 to go, and you can see Andrew Ranger is starting to sniff around now. Starting to take a look as Ranger turned his quickest lap of the race. Not a race best, but still quick for the 27 driver, so he's starting to pick up the intensity once again as Lacroix has managed to get back around Matthew Kingsbury, back into 7th spot, and is chasing the 36 of Alex Lebay. And it is good to see the 36 of Lebay back in the field out of Victoriaville, Quebec, driving the Lucier Chevrolet Sentra VR Victoriaville number 36. And again, just running a partial schedule, but also running down in the U.S. Xfinity starts where he can get them.
Yeah, he gets a lot of seat time over the course of the year, and again, he's a guy who's always been very fast here since joining the series years and years ago now.
So Arsenault has gapped the 80 of Alex Tagliani. As you can see, a great shot looking in the passenger side window of Tagliani. You can see him working that steering wheel into turn number 1. Here's where Ranger appears to be just a little bit better than the 96. Out of turn number 2, headed towards turn number 3, and then he slides right through there and gives a little bit of that back as Camirand just a little bit tidier, and that's helping him sort of maintain that gap at the front of the field.
Yeah, he can keep that car, the 96, a little bit straighter than the 27 through those last few corners, and then through here through 7 and 8. Squirming around a little bit, but not compared to the 27.
What's interesting there, you see them come through 7 and 8, that chicane that is designed to slow these cars down so they're not just hauling the speed around through a straight area. But we talked about the abruptness of the curve. That inside of the curve is about a 3-inch drop. It's not nothing.
Yeah, you don't want to hook a tire, come across it the wrong way. That's going to hurt a rim. You kind of want to go across there straight if you're going to get cute with it.
But you can see it from our camera shot. It looks like a minor little bump, but it's a significant drop. It's like dropping your wheel off into a hole, except it's concrete. It's going to do tons of damage if you do, in fact, do that. But we continue on with 20 laps to go here, over halfway in this 43-lap Evirum 100 at Circuit ICAR.
Looks like the 74 is really stalled out a little bit there behind Lebay and the 39. He might be a little bit quicker than them, but not that much quicker where he's making that pass.
And that's what we talked about. The getting up through the field was a lot easier through some of the back markers. The drivers who were off in qualifying by 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 seconds at some point. That's a lap. So now you come up into the drivers who are setting track records, and it's tough because you can catch them, but you need that extra head of speed in order to get by, and that's exactly what the 74 is missing at this point. Just can't quite get his nose in on the 36 of Alex Lebay as the top 3 now start to spread out a little bit, 0.8 of a second. The difference between Camirand and Ranger at the stripe. Justin Arsenault about 1.7 seconds back, and then it's over 3 seconds back to Alex Tagliani. So you see the gap on your screen. We're just putting numbers to what you're seeing visually. And it looks like everybody's picked up on that Justin Arsenault line and sailing it right out to the wall there. Maybe they just wanted Justin Arsenault to clean off any debris that might have been out in that green area before they attempted it. But that seems to be the quick way through that section of track.
Wow, look at the 17 there. He was dead sideways coming off of that chicane.
That's another thing too, when you do bang these curbs pretty hard, it just overloads the opposite side tires. You lift up the inside and it just really pushes back because the general tires will struggle to keep the grip on the track, and that's where you run into the overheating situation.
Sure, yeah. 4 tires are definitely better than 2.
Single file at the front. Again, that dice there a little bit deeper down. Gannett, LeBay, and Lacroix. That is for 5th, 6th, and 7th. That is probably the closest battle in the top 10 at this point, but still, Marc-Antoine Camirand, the winner back in 2023, continues to pace the field as it sits right now. Let's head down to Todd Lewis with yet another Pinty's Pit Report. Todd?
Well, Dave, we can give you a bit of an update on the 47 car of LP Dumoulin. Hanging on to the top 10 right now. DJ Kennington got around a short while ago. Just checked in with the team, and he said the car feels pretty good, but he's telling the team the transmission does not feel as good. He's being very careful shifting and will be for the duration of this race. He wants to bring this one home. We've seen some struggles and some tough luck for LP Dumoulin at previous rounds of the NASCAR Canada Series in 2025. He's hoping not to have another one today, but right now trying to get that car to lap 43.
Again, points the big story on their minds as LP Dumoulin comes into this one. Just 16 points at the top spot. As the Lakers work through lap traffic at the GP3R. So yeah, he does need those finishes, and a top 10 would be a good one for the 47 team here today.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, anything can happen. We've got 5 races left. You know, anything can happen to the handful of guys in front of him in the points there. So he needs to do what he can to bring this car home in one piece.
Looks like Gannett starting to close the gap on 4th spot. Alex Tagliani is a good view there of the race leader, the GMIA Chevrolet, number 96, Marc-Antoine Camirand. Just look at the wheels on that one. He's not fighting the steering wheel at all. The front wheels aren't moving back and forth. It's just set, slide a little bit. The way he goes as he works through lap traffic. Jacques Gannett Sr. in the 93 just ahead.
The guy leading is clearly the class of the field right now.
There's that battle now. 4 cars. We talked about Gannett, LeBay, and Lacroix. Now we can add Alex Tagliani into that mix as well as Ranger gets through the lapped car of Jacques Gannett Sr. And now Arsenault will try to do the same as some of the back markers come through out of the final turn 12. And again, this place has played, and it does have the freedom to do this because it is essentially just a blank canvas as far as a racetrack goes. You can drop paint and put curbing wherever you want to make up as many turns as you want, but this 12-turn configuration that we have here this year, same as what we had last year, is proving to be a pretty good one.
Yeah, certainly my favorite configuration that they've run here. You know, in previous years we've run a really long configuration where the cars kind of hide back in the zone there, and then they've also run a really short configuration, but I think this is the best of all worlds, really.
Now we've got 15 laps to go, so we just had one caution that led to a red flag. And did we see some smoke? Was that out of the 3 car of Justin Arsenault?
Yeah, it looks like a little smoke. Yeah, still smoking pretty good there.
Smoking a lot more now.
Not a good sign. That could be a rear end. This place is so hard on transmissions and rear ends.
And why is it? I mean, we talked about how the surface is so slippery, essentially. The cars slide around so much. Is it the curbing that does the damage on the rear ends?
Could be a lot of hard, high revving downshifts. You know, the curbing. I've certainly blown up a rear end here before, and it's not a fun feeling.
No, it's not. So Arsenault will be getting the call from his team, and that smoke is showing. And importantly, NASCAR officials will be monitoring. They'll be taking a look at this, and there goes black flag. Oh, and some fire too. So yeah, that's it.
It's gone.
And it looks like transmission, maybe an engine out of the 3-car. No, it's still moving, so it's still running, but a little bit of fire as he downshifted there. So whatever is leaking, and yeah, caution is now out for the fluid being laid down by the number 3 of Justin Arsenault, the Basin Fibro EHR number 3.
Yeah, he did a good job. He got off the racing line as soon as he got that black flag and pulled right off the track there. And yeah, yellow flag's out, and he's getting out of the car pretty quickly.
Yeah, and frustrated too. Sitting in 3rd spot again, his first start of 2025. Had a very, very good competitive car. And the driving instructor from right here at Circuit ICAR steps out. He's okay. That's the best news. But Justin Arsenault will see his day end just a little bit early. And now again, a red flag being shown for the 2nd time this race with 14 laps to go. So obviously, the smoke that we saw was a result of a lot of fluid getting laid down on the racetrack.
Yeah, the cleanup crew is going to have to get out here. You see Arsenault looking under the car, trying to figure out what went wrong, but yeah, his day is done.
Yeah, he's checking to see if there's any more flames too. None have shown as the emergency team shows up on scene, and they'll take a quick look and likely flip back the hood. But anytime there is fire or an engine failure in that it could lead to a bigger issue, that's when NASCAR decides to err on the side of caution, and that's why they throw the red flag for this one. It's better to keep everybody safe when you're working around these race cars.
Yeah, you don't want cars buzzing around as the cleanup crew's out there, as the officials are out there, and yeah.
And plus, with such a short race too, 14 laps to go, you don't want to waste laps under caution. So that's why we're going to throw the red flag. And there you can see all of the leaders lined up. Stopped here at Circuit ICAR. So under red flag for the 2nd time here in the Evirum 100. We'll be back with more after this.
Welcome back to Circuit ICAR. As the 3-car has stopped out on course, we did see that Justin Arsenault got out. Jason Hathaway, we were having much happier chat at the start of this race. What happened? Do you have any idea? And what did Justin tell you over the radio?
I didn't say a lot. I just seen it smoking there for a lap or two, and then started a bunch of flames underneath the middle of the car. So looks like maybe gear burn up or something like that. But the kid was doing a hell of a job, and you know, it's the way it goes. It's racing.
Yeah, it sometimes happens that way, but you have had fast race cars all season long with Team 3.
Yeah, we've had good cars, good equipment. I mean, we don't rent junk, so you know that's we're having fun with Justin, and hopefully get back with him and run again with his family and Mark and everybody, Arsenault and the guys. So just hate it for my guys, but that's how it goes.
Thanks, Jason. Unfortunately, an early end of the day for Justin Arsenault out on course. A second red flag continues, guys. And again, maybe it gives an opportunity some of the others who are trying to make their way up front. The 74 of Kevin Lacroix, he'll have a little bit of a respite again. Maybe another opportunity to charge forward. One of the fast cars ahead of him has now fallen out.
And also, we saw the 27 of Andrew Ranger able to at least challenge the 96 for a series of laps after the last red flag segment. So these cool-down opportunities seem to benefit the 27 of Andrew Ranger. It's when things go on a little bit longer, that's when he starts to fall back. The 96 clicks off consistently. Such fast laps.
Yeah, certainly. The 96 car is just so good on those medium and long runs. But Ranger, you know, he now knows that if he's going to make a move, it's got to be right away.
Well, and let's talk about the timing of this race now. 14 laps to go. You're starting to run into the latter stages of this race, so the opportunity for you to make your move is probably at this restart. So watch the aggression level pick up.
Yeah, this will be an aggressive restart for sure.
Have a look at what happened to Justin Arsenault in the Fibro Pools number 3, and there is the puff of fire. That's what drew the red flag and laid down some fluid on track. Good to see the young driver quickly come to a stop, so he knew something was amiss in that Chevrolet, and he pulled off the racing line and got it stopped pretty quickly. So any oil being laid down on the track wasn't being laid down completely around. Which is a pretty heads-up move, because it's something that, you know, some young drivers may not think about. They just want to get back to the paddock area. So
young, old, anyone.
That's true. that is a good point.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't want to single out the young ones, because we've seen it happen by some veteran drivers as well over the course of the years in the NASCAR Canada Series. The red flag has been pulled in once again, and the number 3 of Justin Arsenault is up on the flatbed, and we'll head back to the paddock area. And again, the next time we see that car on track, we'll have another different driver, although that driver was in it once before, and he picked up a win at Calabogie Motorsport Park, and that's Connor Bell. Will be back in that car and looking for big things once again. Yeah,
it'll be great to have Connor out there at CTMP. He's gonna be fast for sure. Also, Jack Polito. It's gonna be a good race out there.
Yeah, Jack Polito is a former champion of the GT4 series and the Sports Car Championship Canada Series. So yeah, he's a veteran, and I believe he is yet to lose in a GT4 car in the SCCC at CTMP. So it's a different feel for a NASCAR Canada Series car, but it'll be fun to see that driver. And you're back for CTMP as well, back behind the wheel.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, because I think you have some unfinished business there, don't you?
Certainly do. We certainly do.
Let's sit down pit side once again before we go back to green and check in with our Pinty's pit side report and Todd Lewis.
Let's talk to Justin Arsenault out of the car. Happy to see that you're okay, but some visible frustration on your face. You were fast today.
Yeah, we had a really good race. We were staying up with the forward pack, keeping the car nice and clean for the end of the race. Started smelling a little bit of burn in the car, and we had to pull off. I think a fire got caught in the car.
Unfortunate to see you out, but another terrific run here. You've shown a lot of speed when you've been in the car. Hopefully more opportunities to come your way in the NASCAR Canada Series?
Yeah, hopefully if we can find more sponsors for next year, get a few runs, try to redeem ourselves. We seem always to be unlucky with mechanical parts. So we'll try to gather everything back up and get it for a better race next time.
Thanks, Justin. Good luck to you.
Well, it's a rare mechanical breakdown out of the 3 team. The EHR car is genuinely very reliable, as we've seen it reach the finish quite a few times here in the NASCAR Canada Series in 2025. But you can see little hints of speedy dry around the track as some of that fluid got tidied up, and now the drivers once again finding their starting spots. But yeah, this is going to be a fun restart. As you can see, DJ Kennington in there along with LP Dumoulin. Again, drivers with the big picture, the points championship on the line. They both need to move up, but they both need to save their equipment and not tear things up when they do it.
Yeah, certainly. And with such a quick turnaround to CTMP next weekend, you really don't want to tear up your road course car. You know, again, quick turnaround and a very important race there at CTMP with a big field.
Simon Charbonneau in the 88, JP Bergeron there as well in 10th and 11th. Dave Corso, we haven't talked about him. the driver in the 54 out of Saint Jerome, Quebec, in the Auto Palace Car Quest number 54. He's having a pretty decent run, just outside the top 10. Driver again running part-time schedule here in the 2025 NASCAR Canada Series as the field once again continues to try and build up some heat back into those general tires. But it is a question that sort of sits on your mind after a red flag and a second red flag, so you have a second cool down period. As a driver, are you thinking, how's this going to stick as I go into turn number 1 for the first time?
You get your 2 laps here, and these tires, they really come up to temperature pretty good as long as you're diligent about scrubbing off all the debris off the tires, and that's the least of your worries. You're worried about the guys inside, outside, and behind you on this restart here.
And as far as aggressive restarts go, keep an eye on the 39 of Alex Gannett. He's hungry for a win here. He's not racing for points, just racing for wins. So is Alex Tagliani in the red and yellow number 80. And the 36 of Alex LeBay. He'd love to visit victory lane here. They're all within striking distance. So a good restart and a shot down the inside. And this might really mix things up at the front of the field. There will be 11 laps to go when we go back to green as the cars cross the start-finish line. And now the pace car pulls off down into the pit area. And it is Marc-Antoine Camirand and the 27 of Andrew Ranger as they inch their way closer to the Pinty's restart zone. There you can see the green flag in hand of the NASCAR official. And once again, it waves, and we're back underway for a second time after an extended red flag session. Oh, look at LeBay up the inside of the 39 of Alex Gannett. And once again, the 74 of Kevin Lacroix fails to really capitalize on a restart, although he didn't lose too much this time. Still is the 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand with the 27 of Andrew Ranger. Alex Tagliani in the final podium position in the 80.
Oh, and the 47's off the pace.
I just saw that. He fell way to the back. The WeatherTech Dodge of LP Dumoulin with issues after taking that restart inside the top 10. It looks like problems. And remember, he said there was something going on with the transmission and he was having problems coming up through the gears, and it looks like those problems have really taken over as Lacroix moves to the inside of LeBay.
Yeah, it was Gannett who started that. He got in real deep on the 36 of LeBay, drove him out wide there, and 74 capitalized as well.
So LeBay gets to the inside, and it's a cut right front tire for the driver of the WeatherTech Dodge of LP Dumoulin. And no caution with 10 laps to go as LP Dumoulin trying to get that car back to pit lane.
Oh, devastating for Dumoulin there. He's parked it now. That should bring out the yellow flag.
Yeah, he's close enough to the racing surface that the caution should fly, and there it goes as LP Dumoulin struggles to keep that car going in a straight line. He's right down on the rim. There's no tire left.
No, he was struggling to make that, and he's gonna, oh no.
I don't even think he made pit lane there.
No, he's parked on the inside of pit lane.
So caution flag is out. And you can see the pit lane closed.
No, it's pit lane is closed. He might be better off just to barge his way in there. I don't know.
Because he's going to lose a lap this time by. He's sitting on the racetrack right now. But there is a look at the stricken number 47 of LP Dumoulin as he tries to swing out wide.
Yeah, I think he's probably trying to get a feel for what exactly is broken there, if it's anything more than that front tire going down. Also, he might be trying to draw a caution there. He doesn't want to lose a lap.
Yeah, that's true. And he's staying out on the racetrack right now because I don't think he was able to make that turn into pit lane. And again, pit lane was closed. So potentially a spotter said, you know what? Stay out. That was the red and yellow cross flag. That's an indication that pit lane is closed. When you see a waved green flag, pit lane's open, you can come in without penalty, but not that caution. That's the track official saying there's a full course caution. If we go back a little bit more, we can see the red flag with the yellow cross, and then once they wave a green flag, you can come in without penalty. If you come in a closed pit, you go back to the longest line, which essentially is the back of the pack.
Yeah, so if we look at the scoring here, did he lose a lap?
Yeah, I think he's down one already. Sitting in 15th spot. And yeah, he is the first car one lap down, but he is the reason for the caution, so he won't be able to take advantage of the free pass this time. But it does bunch up the field once again. So yeah, the number 73, Marc-Andre Lachapelle, once again the beneficiary of getting his lap back. So he'll be put back onto the lead lap, believe it or not. And once LP Dumoulin comes in to make his pit stop, he'll be in 16th position. So Lachapelle making his first start here in the NASCAR Canada Series. And again, just getting the feel for these cars. He did go a couple of laps down. He had a spin earlier on this race, but he's managed to take advantage of cautions, get his lap back using the free pass. And again, this is good for the owner's points for the 73 team, as Donald Teach ran that car at GP3R, and now Lachapelle runs it here at Circuit ICAR. So there you can see the reason for this caution. And again, there's LP trying to pull into pit lane, or potentially seeing the red cross flag and then deciding to hold up and staying out on track. But either way, it's going to hurt in the points championship for the driver from Trois-Rivières, Quebec. He came into this one just 16 points out of top spot. So a win would have really boosted his championship hopes here in 2025. And unfortunately, this is going to be another frustrating day for the WeatherTech Dodge team as we head down for another Pinty's Pit Report. And Todd Lewis. Todd?
Has to lift that car up before they can get the jack underneath. They do get the right front up in the air, change all 5 lug nuts, and now he's being held by the NASCAR official for a penalty. We're not sure what that penalty is yet, but that is a penalty right now for LP Dumoulin. Perhaps it is for entering the pit close. What's the penalty for LP? But yeah, he is being held for a penalty at the moment.
Yeah, so again, this is...
We're waiting to see what the penalty is, but LP Dumoulin being held by the NASCAR official, so the frustration continues to boil in that 47 team right now. Of course, had the transmission issues that he was battling.
And NASCAR will not like the intentional drawing of a caution. If you stop on track and you could potentially get back to pit lane, they would prefer that, keep the race under green, rather than seeing a caution flag go out. So that could potentially be what the penalty is for. We aren't quite sure. We're just talking right now. But
you can see LP there. You can see his visor moving, shaking his head at the official there. He didn't enter pit lane when it was closed. He could have there, and yeah, I don't know. It would be one of the first times they'd give you a penalty for drawing a caution.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, but again, it is a very, very tight pit lane here at Circuit ICAR as we continue under caution. It looks like this is going to be a full lap penalty. It looks like the 47 WeatherTech Dodge being held on pit lane for 1 full lap, and that's going to drop LP Dumoulin 2 laps down from your race leader. So, yeah, a day that went from bad for the 47 of LP Dumoulin. And yes, we did just get word from the NASCAR officials. Deliberately causing a caution was the reason for that penalty. And you can see the NASCAR official heading over to tell the team. And LP Dumoulin will not be pleased with that.
No, he's going to be frustrated with that call.
So just the one emergency tire. They weren't allowed to change. So you asked the question, if you're down pit lane, why not take the opportunity to put 4 general tires on and try and make a trek back up through the field? You're only allowed taking 1 emergency tire if that tire is in fact damaged, which it was. It was down on the rim, so that's why just the 1 tire went on, and then the penalty was imposed on the 4017 of team of LP Dumoulin. And now, we talked about an aggressive restart with 14 to go. How about this one now? It's 7 to go, and we're not even lined up to go back to green. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be, actually, there's the 1 to go. So the lights go off on the pace car this time by. So we'll see them double up. There'll be 6 laps to go when they take green.
This will be a good one. You see the 74 now up in 5th spot. He got by the 36 of LeBay on that last restart. He's going to be a threat here, and watch the 39. He's ultra aggressive on these restarts.
But the leader has been able to fend off all challengers so far. The GM Paillet number 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand and the GM Paillet number 27 of Andrew Ranger. They finished 1-2 at the last race at the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivières. They're sitting 1-2, albeit in a different order this time. As the laps tick down, 6 laps to go, and the green flag once again set to wave as the field moves through the pitches. Good jump from the 27 Ranger that time. Boy,
yeah.
Everybody's on their best behavior in through turn number 1. So Gannett slots in behind the 80 of Alex Tagliani in 4th spot, just ahead of the 74 of Kevin Lacroix. Lacroix takes a peek into turn number 3, but he'll be on the outside for turn 4. So yeah, he's got to back it up, drop in behind as they go single file. Good restart for J.P. Bergeron there as he moved up a couple of spots, and it was D.J. Kennington who fell back at the restart. He was 7th, but you saw him in a battle there with the 1 car of J.P. Bergeron. So it looks like Kennington might have lost a couple of spots.
Yeah, he lost a spot to the 88 of Simon Charbonneau there.
Dave Coursol also getting around the 17, so could be issues for the 17. The Ontario driver, DJ Kennington, again came into this one 3 points out of top spot. The man he was chasing sitting in first with the 27 of Andrew Ranger in his shadow at the front of the field. 5 laps to go this time across the stripe. Looks like somebody's been doing a number on the back bumper of the 96.
I'd say it was the 27 there. Look at the nose.
Fiberglass flying off the other GM Paillet car as they get together playing bumper tag here at the front of the field. So Andrew Ranger is trying to squeeze everything he's got left in that car. He needs it to come out right now. So an update on Kennington. He is still in 8th spot. I thought he dropped back just a little bit further, but he's managed to climb back up to 8th once again. So still respectably inside the top 10, and still some fireworks could happen here at the front as Andrew Ranger is not done fighting for the race lead. Ranger, there's Tagliani. Gannett getting a little bit of a bump from Kevin Lacroix as they work through the final few turns here onto the front straightaway. A slide through turn number 12 and into turn number 1. That presents a good passing opportunity, just not this time for Andrew Ranger. He keeps it close as we ride on board with the number 39 of Alex Gannett.
Now the 96 has not been able to put that gap on the 27. 4 laps to go here. 27 is trying everything he can do to get in the mirror there and ultimately get by him. And there's a battle with the 74 and the 39.
Up on the outside is the 74, and he's managing to hold it there. And this is where he gets to use all of that runoff area. They're going to go side by side through that chicane, or are they? No, they're going to fall in single file as Lacroix wisely decides not to take the penalty of going into the track limit zone, the green paint through 7 and 8. And he lives to fight another day, and this could be that other day as he's starting to use that front bumper a little bit more on the BetGRW number 39 of Alex Gannett.
Watch him here. There he goes.
Turn number 1, hard under braking, up to the door, and they do make a little contact. Push to the outside goes to 39, and here comes Gannett, slides right back in. Is he going to return the favor? That's the big question as the lead at the front. Now 3 laps to go. Still is the 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand as Andrew Ranger slides it through the turns. All by himself, watching both battles out the front and out the back is Alex Tagliani in that Saint-Hubert number 80. He's had somewhat of a dull day sitting inside the top 5 since the drop of the green.
Yeah, very solid day for Tagliani there. He's got clear sailing if this goes green to the end. I don't think he's got anything for those 2 Paillet cars.
They might have something left for each other as the 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand comes through sliding it around the turns as Lacroix is able to gap the 39 of Alex Gannett just a little bit. 2 laps to go now for your race leader, the number 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand. Just a short time ago, Camirand turned the fastest lap of the race, a 104.1. But Andrew Ranger turned his fastest lap, which was a 104.2. So even at their best, they're only a 1/10 of a second between them. Look at Ranger take a different line. He's trying to use all of that momentum and keep it up. He's using every bit of racing sense to see what he can do with your race leader. But now Camirand just starting to stretch again. This is where the 96 shows his muscle. The longer the run goes, the better that car is.
He's getting very close. Now there's 2 cones down in that chicane. Getting close to 4 wheels, but that was just 2 wheels over the curb that time.
Lacroix is catching the number 80 of Alex Tagliani in 3rd spot as we come up to complete what will be the final lap. So 1 lap to go as they cross the stripe. There it is. The white flag is out for Marc-Antoine Camirand. Andrew Ranger and Alex Tagliani still holds down 3rd spot. There is the Castrol number 17 of D.J. Kennington, again 2nd in points, and the reason we're showing him, he sits 8th place on the track. So this is going to be a very good points day for Marc-Antoine Camirand. He had a good one at the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivières where he finished on the podium in 2nd, chasing the 27 of Andrew Ranger home, and there is the 47 of LP Dumoulin out of this one as the transmission issues likely too much to overcome in the final throws of this race. Turns 7 and 8. Again, the 2 cars slide straight through there. Not close enough to make a last-ditch effort is Andrew Ranger. He holds down 2nd, but the class of the field so far today has been the points leader coming into this one. He'll stretch that points lead as the 96 of Marc-Antoine Camirand will take the Evirum 100 here at Circuit ICAR. So it was a good day at the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivières for the 2 GM Paillet-backed entries. As Camirand came home 2nd to Andrew Ranger, they flipped that script here at Circuit ICAR, but Camirand will win it. Ranger comes home 2nd, and Alex Tagliani does hold off Kevin Lacroix at the end, so he finishes on the final step of the podium. Lacroix and Gannett will round out the top 5. And D.J. Kennington, who is 2nd in points, just 3 points back of the 96 coming into this one, is 8th unofficially right now in the 17. So Ranger will likely jump to 2nd based on his finish in 2nd spot. Again, Ranger was just 7 points back of Marc-Antoine Camirand for the points lead. So put the 27 up to 2nd unofficially. Kennington will drop down to 3rd, but again, you talked about it off the top of the show, is that his best races are yet to come. Delaware Speedway is where he's been racing since he was a 16-year-old.
Yeah, certainly. He knows his way around that track. He's definitely looking forward to it. That is one of the races that is always circled on his calendar there. He did what he could at this race. You know, ultimately, he's still in the hunt for the championship.
Kevin Lacroix will likely leapfrog LP Dumoulin after this one. Lacroix started at the back, 19th, after being sent to the rear for an unapproved adjustment, and he worked his way up to 4th. So a good rebound effort for the Napa Racing number 74 of Kevin Lacroix. And there you can see the track officials saluting the drivers and the Gulf Fuels checkered flag. This is the moment that the drivers love to get the opportunity to do. It's a victory lap. Donuts if you want. Pretty good idea that the 96 will be doing some donuts here. He's going to do a Polish victory lap. Do the back way around here on the front straightaway where the biggest of the crowd is gathered here at Circuit ICAR. So a salute to the crowd by Marc-Antoine Camirand as he picks up yet another victory here in 2025. And what has been a consistently good season for the 96. Hasn't been a dominant year for the 96, but he's always been there. He's always been in the mix. And as a result, he sits on top of the points as we start to get into the final throws. So now, with this one in the books, just 4 races left, and just a partial donut for the 96. Call that a cruller.
Yeah,
because it's not
sure.
really a donut.
Little burnout there.
Save your stuff. We've got CTMP coming up as J.C. Paye, the team owner of that group. He does love a good celebration, but the team doesn't need the extra work to put a new motor in it. Heading out to CTMP in Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the next event, as that car will be brought back out. And Marc-Antoine Camirand will be looking to once again visit victory lane in that race after he took the season opener at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park earlier this year. So into victory lane, and you can see the photo opportunities presenting themselves. You see the NASCAR officials getting set with all of the fanfare here in victory lane. There is Fanny Brulette, who is a valued team member on the Marc-Antoine Camirand team. Comes out of the dirt racing circles and has been on that team for many, many years and does just about everything. As you can see her grabbing the helmet and the Hans device for Marc-Antoine Camirand as he's set to jump out. And once again, Todd Lewis is making his way into victory lane. And Marc-Antoine Camirand has found him down in victory lane. Todd?
All right, Mark, you had a very fast car right from the start of this race. You forced your way past the 27 car, and it was a bit of a battle, but you really seemed to have anything that you needed under the hood.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Qualified second in qualify. Ranger did a cannon lap in qualify. And during the race, after I would say lap 6 or 7, I was catching him, and I was quicker on the backside of the track and make a pass on the 27. And after that, the car was like awesome. Thanks to my team, Jim Payet, my crew chief again, Robert McCloskey, always giving me like a good piece of a car to race with.
This is definitely a team that is going for back-to-back championships.
Definitely, it's got a good point with the championship. It's still 4 races to go. It's not over, but we keep digging.
Second win here at Circuit ICAR for Marc-Antoine Camirand.
And important to know that no one has ever won a back-to-back championship in the NASCAR Canada Series. So there's a big hug from J.C. Paye, the team owner, and his driver, Marc-Antoine Camirand, as the celebration's just getting underway here in Victory Lane. And yeah, they'll go late into the night, I'm sure, as the team celebrates yet another win. And as Todd mentioned, just a second win for Marc-Antoine Camirand, but still the record holds. Only 4 drivers have won here in 11 events, now 12 here at Circuit ICAR, as Todd is caught up with your third place finisher. You can see them standing just in front of the victory lane car. Let's head back down to Todd, who's standing by with Alex Tagliani. Todd?
Yeah, you had a very good view of that battle ahead of you. I don't know if you had quite enough to get into the middle of it, but pretty satisfying run for this team.
Yeah, I think the Teach Motorsport team definitely deserve a podium. I mean, we've led the race in Mosport. We had the alternator issue. We led the race in Calabogie, other issue. Three Rivers, we all saw it. We're a really competitive car. So, again, another competitive car. So I'm really happy for the team. I think they can now really enjoy the result. Unfortunately, you know, it was a hard race. It's not on a physical standpoint, but more the behavior of the car, you know, over a long run was not the best, was really fast on the short run. So if I was going to make a move, it had to be in the first 2 laps of a restart against Andrew. Same thing at the start of the race, but it was going to be risky on a short dry like this. So I think it was better to bring the car back home with 1 week to prepare it for Mosport with all the fenders.
Oh, yeah, satisfying run here for Alex Tagliani on the podium and ready to go a week from now at CTMP.
And he's absolutely right about the Teach Motorsports team deserving a podium. Again, they've given him very, very good cars, and just bad luck has crestfallen that 80 team over the course of the season, both on the ovals and on the road courses. But for Alex Tagliani, he'll be happy with this one. And again, it's momentum built into the next event.
Yeah, they certainly will. And he's back in the seat again at CTMP, like he was mentioning there. So he's looking to have a good run there. And yeah, those Teach Motorsport cars are always fast.
Yeah, with Don Thompson Jr. on top of the pit box, calling the shots as crew chief for those cars, and Donald Teach really putting together a very good package for Alex Tagliani to wheel this season in 2025. It's been exciting to watch Tagliani behind the wheel of that 80 car. And again, he just needs to find a little bit more in order to get up and battle with those two Paillet cars, because Marc-Antoine Camirand, essentially untouchable since on the longer runs of this race, and we talked about it over the course of this race. But Todd has managed to catch up with your second place finisher down in victory lane. Todd?
We talked about a blistering qualifying lap. It was a fast pace when you guys were running head-to-head. You and the 96 car got around you, and it seemed like you were hanging that car for everything you had, trying to get back in front.
Oh, exactly. I really tried hard at the end. I knew that the 96 was a little bit quicker than me on the long run. So short run, I say it's my chance, my opportunity, but you know what? The 96 was a little bit quicker than me. I touched him a little bit. I try hard on the brake. But overall, you know, second place like that, I really give what I can do, you know, and so I will take it definitely. It's good for the championship, and we put both the GM Paillet car on the top of the box, so very happy.
Yeah, good run for Andrew Ranger, and he mentioned it too, like, hey, this championship, it's wide open with 4 races to go.
Oh, exactly, you know, CTMP, big race, a lot of cars, and we're going to a river, Delaware, with 2 races there and Montmagny at the end. So I know we can do well there. We just need to push hard and get more podium and maybe wins.
Well done, Andrew.
Thank you.
All right, stretch run of the season coming. 4 races to go and a great championship fight on the way.
Yeah, for sure. Both drivers now, the 96 and the 27, have momentum on their side. A win and a second place for both of those drivers in the last 2 events. Let's take a look at your top 10 finishers. And we talked to the top 3, but you look through down into the top 10. LeBay coming home 6th. Kingsbury with a great run there in 7th.
Yeah, the 9-car Kingsbury, he's had a lot of speed this year on road courses and on ovals. He's led at Chaudier. He had great speed at Calabogie and at GP3R, so solid run for them.
And JP Bergeron, Dave Coursol. JP Bergeron, this is a driver who needed this top 10 finish after having some issues at Calabogie and GP3R. Simon Zion-Vienne went a lap down, managed to battle back for an 11th spot. Decent day.
Yeah, the frustrating one will be for the 47 WeatherTech team of LP Dumoulin there. He was not looking for 16th place finish ultimately today.
No, he was settled nicely inside the top 10, and will have to settle for a dismal result. And Justin Arsenault, too. Heartbreak for the youngster in the 3-car, and who knows when he'll be back. Again, he's looking for some more funding. Going to try and do as many races as he can. As Jacques Guenette Sr. and Larry Jack was the reason for the first red flag after fire on the Superior Propane Rack.ca number 84 brought a stop to this race in the early going. But once again, it was too much for the field to overcome with the 2 GM Paillet entries finishing 1 and 2. Marc-Antoine Camirand and Andrew Ranger, with Alex Tagliani rounding out your top 3 here in the Evirum 100. But once again, it was a fantastic day. It was temperatures nice and comfortably warm. Wasn't oppressive heat like we saw at Grand Prix de Trois-Rivières, where it was very, very hot. The cloud cover here kept it a reasonable temperature, but for some it got a little hot. And one of them was the 47 of LP Dumoulin. Again, transmission issues originally reported, and then a cut down right front tire. And we had battles all the way through the pack. There you saw it get a little bit aggressive between the 74 of Kevin Lacroix and the 39 of Alex Gannett. Eventually, Kevin Lacroix using a little bit of bumper to get by the 39, but here's where he built up that run on the exit of turn number 12, and then he built to the inside of turn number 1, taking over fourth spot. But the winner and all the spoils goes to the 96, Marc-Antoine Camirand. We'll be back with more from Circuit ICAR. Trophy presentations now happening here at Circuit ICAR as Karen Ranger and Eric Dufresne from Evirum and UAP Napa handing out the hardware to your top 3 finishers. But a big congratulations goes to Marc-Antoine Camirand, your winner here in the Evirum 100. For Gary Klutz and Todd Lewis, I'm Dave Bradley. Thanks very much for joining us and watching the NASCAR Canada Series here on RevTV.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.